Okay, so in this episode, I would like to begin with Flutter. So let me use FlatLab. Is it FlatLab? FlatLab. So flatlab.io. Sorry. To get started, so this is the interface for FlatLab. It's just a Flutter IDE on the web. Okay, and you can also use VS Code.dev that is VS Code on the web. Okay, but I think that wouldn't work for Flutter on the web because you can't run an emulator on the web, but you use this for something else. So we just, I think project idea. Okay, idea is not available. Okay, so this is what we have for Flutter. So when you create your basic Flutter app, this is what you are going to get. Sorry. So I'll just jump over to VS Code and so creating your first app. Okay, to create your first app, you can simply, I have hidden so many things. So come to file, come to view, and then you see is it one? No, sorry, terminal. So yeah, control tilde today. So here you can create a Flutter app using your command line, but the recommended ways: first, when you are using VS Code, come here to extensions, search for Flutter, and as you saw in Visual Studio, you install this Flutter extension. Okay, when you install it, it will ask you to install that. So install that too. So install the that too. I think this one is this one. No, I don't like this one. And so we are going to use these two for now. You come to awesome Flutter snippets later. So for now, this is what you are going to have. Now if you have installed these two plugins, you press F1. Okay, press F1 and this thing shows up. So when this thing shows, you search for Flutter. So you see Flutter new project. So select new project and then you choose application, or you can go to empty application, but for this sake I'm going to go by application. Okay, and then you'll be asked to choose a folder for your apps. So I'll just come here, create a new folder called learn Flutter, and then I'll choose that folder. So inside here I'll say Flutter 1. So Flutter 1. Okay, or let me just say first app, and then you press enter. Now trust. Okay, now this command will be running, and you can see that the files will be creating over here. This means when you are done, this is what comes. You can start running your Flutter app. So let me take these folders. This is the DAT tool that it configures your DAT environment. I won't talk about this. I also don't know what it is. Okay, and then this is Android. No, your Flutter is multi-platform. Okay, so if you are building for Android iOS, you are going to see Android iOS here. If you are building for web, you see web here. I have disabled Windows, Linux and Mac OS because I'm not going to build for that. So if I'm going to build for those platforms, you are going to see those platforms here too. Okay, I want to talk about this code first. I'll first jump into, okay, let's go to README. So this is everything about your Flutter projects. This is a Markdown. So I mean, if you go online and read more about how to create Markdowns, we can just do this with plain text. or yeah. Now this is the most important file in your Flutter project. So the name is, this is the name of your app, first app, and this name is going to be used throughout. If you change this name here, your app will not build. Okay, no, don't collect anything. So this is the description for a project. Now you have the privilege to read all this at your spare time, and this is the version for your app. Now I'll come to the SDK, the environment, that is your SDK, the Dart SDK. So the current Dart version is, it should range from 3.06 to 4.00, and as you can see here, the Dart version is 3.06, and then the Flutter version is 3.16. They are two different things altogether. And then the dependencies. So if you are going to use any packages in your application, you are going to put them here in dependencies. Okay, we have dev dependencies. This is what you are going to need when you are building your app in your IDE. But this are the stuff the app itself needs. The app actually don't need this, but you can. Okay, so Flutter Links also checks for errors and all the stuff in your Flutter code. And the last part, okay, no, this part uses material design. Yeah, it should be true. So the following line ensures that material icon font is included in your application, so that you can use the icons in the material class. Okay, and then assets. So if you are going to put images, videos, and static files in your app, you are going to need this asset. Now we will talk about this part later as we move on. If you are going to use custom fonts, all these parts are there for you. Now this is the main. This main is the starting point of your application. Everything in Flutter that you are doing, you are going to be doing it in this folder, in this lib folder. Okay, just zoom in a bit. Everything is going to be in this lib folder. So I'll just close that. As you can see, we import material. Void main, as you know, I spoke about it earlier, is the starting point of your application. So when you call main, you call run app. This is a function, so inflate the given widget and attach it to the screen. So this run app is what makes your app fill the screen. So there are a lot of comments here that you can read, but I'm not going to worry myself about them, because I'll be touching all of them one by one. If I begin like this, I'm going to confuse you, so I'll be touching them one by one. Okay, so before we just run away, let me see if I have an emulator here. I have an emulator here I can run, so I can just click on this to launch an emulator. Okay, so with this emulator, so as you can see, the emulator is showing here. I'll show you how to set up an emulator later on, but it's not really a big deal. Okay, so as you can see here, you have this, so run without debugging. Now when you click on that, you see it launches and your app builds. So running build tag. Hey, my permission denied. Oh, I have my hard drive locked, so I'm going to be facing a lot of challenges. Okay, so if you have it running for long like this, when you build your app for the first time, it downloads resources over the internet. So the first time you are building an app, you need to be connected to the internet to download resources. Okay, that is the Gradle resources to build your application. It's going to build an EPK file. As you come here, now you have a new folder here called build. It wasn't there earlier, so the app will be built, and you can see the folders here will be updated. If you come here, you see you have output. Inside here, you are going to have your build output, but the app is still building. So I'll just leave it for you to do its own thing. So as you can see, it has built your Flutter YYY. So it will be installing on your emulator. So as you see here, you come here, you see APK here. Okay, so your app has been built into an APK. This, they are all APKs you can use, but you are going to use the one in the Flutter APK. So that is that. So the app, is supposed to show here after installing. Okay, it is going to show up on your emulator. So the emulator is just a virtual version of a phone. So this is taking way too long. So the app loads, and then so if you create a new Flutter app, let me just do it like this. Just leave me. Where is Windows? So this is what you get. So when you create a basic Flutter app, a new Flutter app, this is the basic app that we get. Okay, so this is just to demonstrate Flutter to you, and then you can just, as you tap on this, it will be increasing. If you read carefully throughout this whole thing, you're going to understand, maybe you might not, the processes behind this, but this is to show you how a basic Flutter app looks like. So here I can just change something small about this, and then see, as you can see, you have title here. So I'll just change this to first Flutter app. Now this is one thing I wanted to show you. That's why I created this application. You see these two buttons here. This is hot reload and then hot restart. This, what it means is that unlike the other frameworks, when you are doing Java and you make changes to your code, you have to close the app and build it again. Okay, it's a very tedious process. But with Flutter, when you click on this, you see I made a change here. That is what was here. Okay, so if I click on this hot reload, you can see hot reloading. Automatically the change appears here, right? First Flutter app, it shows here. Now this color, I can just change this to orange. And when you press Ctrl S, or you go to file, click on save. Okay, I have to click on save. It will automatically hot reload, and then you see that the color changes to orange. That is one thing about Flutter. It is very fast, so you can work and then see your changes. Also, you can also build your app for the web, and then this whole thing can run on the website like this. So you run you select Chrome and then go to run without debugging. It won't close this one, but you are going to have another instance. So as you can see, you have that on Pixel, and then you have that on Chrome. So when that one loads, you can, if you are just building basic UI, you can just test it out in Chrome, but along the line you have to switch to the emulator, or if you are using an Android phone, you can connect, enable the developer mode, and then build on your device directly. When this finishes, I'll end it. So this is the web, and this is our app running in our browser. Okay, so when you click on this, this is how many times you've pressed this button. So it's the same thing. You can just minimize it, or you can just press F12, go to the developer tools, and then click on this, and then you can run it. You can view it. Click on responsive, and you can choose any device here to emulate. Okay, so yeah, something like this. So basically this is how your Flutter app works. Now what restart, when you click on this, it will just, did I close? Yeah, I closed it. Okay, when you click on this, it will just restart your app from 0, okay, before the changes you've made. So as you see, this 11 here will reset to 0 because our app has restarted. So yeah, but when you hot reload, does it change? It doesn't change. It's the same thing because you didn't make any changes to this part. So that is that for the basic Flutter app. The next time we are not going to use this, but we are going to build, okay, we are going to use this, but we are going to explain everything step by step. Okay, thank you, bye.